Hi there, good morning, good evening, and good night. Depending on where you're watching from, I've got you covered. Well, I'll start by introducing myself. Hi, my name is Junmo Kim, and I'm excited to have been accepted to Stony Brook University for fall 2026. So, I'm originally from South Korea, but I was actually born in Canada because my father was in the military. Throughout my life, I've lived in several countries: Korea, the Philippines, and now the United States, where I've been for the past 6 years in New York. Growing up as a military child, I was always the new kid. New language, new school, new culture, new expectations. At first, I thought the connection would happen naturally if I just waited long enough. But I learned that it doesn't work like that. Being an international student for most of my life, I learned that if you want to belong, you have to create that belonging yourself. Each country taught me how to connect and be a leader. In Korea, I learned manners, discipline, and respect for others. In Canada, I developed my backbone and sense of identity, learning to be confident even when I appear different. In the Philippines, I learned how cultures connect people, especially through food. Like when I tried balut for the first time, which honestly shocked me, but also showed me how being open to familiar experiences is the fastest way to understand people. In the United States, I learned to be independent and to speak up for myself rather than waiting to be noticed. These experiences slowly changed how I saw the leadership. I changed my mind about thinking leadership meant being the loudest person in the room. Instead, I realized that leadership is about initiative, being willing to make the first move to engage. One memory that represents this mindset is crossing the Busanhang Daegyo Bridge in Korea. It's one of the highest bridges, and as a kid, I was terrified of it. The ramp was steep and narrow, so I would grab the door handle and hold my breath until we reached the top. But once we did, the ocean opened up in front of me and everything was so calm again. Looking back, that bridge served as a metaphor of my life. The hardest part isn't the journey alone, it's having the courage to start before you know what's on the other side. I thought about this lesson after COVID when I became president of my church's youth group. When we returned in person, the room felt disconnected. People stayed in small circles, no one really talked, and most people stayed on their phones. Even though we were physically together, it didn't feel like a community. So I decided to start something called Friday Fellowship Night. It was just a weekly space for games, conversation, and checking in with each other. But the biggest impact didn't come from the activities, it came from the small personal actions. Walking up to someone sitting alone and saying, "Hey, come sit with us." Starting conversation when there was a silence. Making people feel seen instead of invisible. Slowly, the room changed. Conversation lasted longer. People began inviting each other. By the end of each night, everyone stayed up to clean up together without being asked. And at our final retreat, an older member told me, "I'm thankful you brought life back to the church." The moment showed me that leadership isn't only about the authority, it's about building connection. Growing up in different countries taught me that no matter where you are, people want the same things: to be accepted, understood, and connected. Being international isn't simply about speaking different languages or eating different food. It's about learning how to adapt, how to listen, and how to bring people together across differences. At Stony Brook University, I want to continue building those bridges between cultures, communities, and individuals who feel like they're standing on the edge of the room. I want to contribute to international student spaces, organizations, leadership communities where diversity remains not just present, but purposefully connected. My goal at Stony Brook is to help create an environment where students feel welcome, supported, and confident taking the first step, just as I learned to do that on that bridge. Thank you.